So I got that out of my system. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about body positivity and keeping it natural and being able to love yourself in the skin you're in. In the skin you're in. I'm gonna like slur a little bit because that's just, I guess that's what I do because I talk really fast. And I also want to discuss my personal journey, and the reason why I'm gonna let you guys in on this is because maybe some of you guys can relate, and maybe some of you guys are sitting there and feeling like some type of way about your body, based on all of the like social media pictures, and I'm a victim to all of this too. And you know, you don't feel as beautiful as you actually should in the skin that you're in, okay? Or in the body that you're in. I'll address the social media world, I'll address plastic surgery, and I'll address my personal journey of what I've been going through and kind of like shed light into this whole path, I guess. So let's start what happened with me back in like 2016, 2017. That was my initial wake-up call. I had a wake-up call because my body started shutting down on me. And I didn't realize I was undergoing a lot of stress. You're kind of, when you're going through a lot of chaotic experiences in life, your body tends to just shut down, okay? And I kept it going for years. I just kept like, I was living in a chaotic environment. I was dealing with a lot of different, you know, stress-induced situations. And so while I was doing all of that, I just kept it going. I was in survival mode. I was in flight or fight mode, and I just kept it going, kept it going. And then around 2017, my immune system started attacking me. Like, I used to go to the doctor maybe every 2 weeks trying to figure out what the hell is wrong. And they would send me back home with some dumb shit like antibiotics, and they'd be like, I don't know, your tonsils are swollen, something, you have a bacterial infection, you have this, or they were just making some shit up just to send me home. A lot of them weren't taking me seriously at this point either. And then finally, fast forward, thank God, this doctor gave me some, like, he regained my hope and faith in modern medicine. He sat me down and he's like, okay, listen, nothing is wrong with you. You need to stop stressing about what's wrong with you, because that's what's causing your immune system to shut down. Stress is your number one issue. And I was like, what? Like, I know I'm always stressed out. Like, that's just part of my norm. He's like, no, you need to take it easy, or you could go down a path where you're completely destroying yourself. And so that year, I remember I switched up my entire, like, I started switching up my entire lifestyle, like my health, the way I started, and that's when I started getting into meditation. That's when I started getting into like more of like a slower paced life compared to what I was used to. And me, I'm a hustler, bustle type girl. Like, I'm always on the move, and nowadays I'm a couch potato, and I love being a couch potato. Really, I really do. So, you know, I was told to kind of relax and start enjoying the present moment, and so I took note. And that year, I remember I made a lot of changes to my diet. I remember I cut off all red meat for like 8 months straight. I stopped eating meat at one point for like a good like 7 to 10 months. I cut off hookah, and if you guys know me, you know I'm a hookah fiend. I cut off hookah, and even now I cut off hookah. I laid back on it for the past 2 months, and it cleared up my skin, which is crazy because I think your lungs, like this area of my face was severely breaking out, and so I had to basically figure out what's causing all of this stuff. Anyways, that's what happened around 2017. Then I was fine. I was doing good. I was, you know, kind of like just moseying on by, just figuring things out, and then boom, this past year and a half has been insane, okay? Oh Lord, not this year, not 2021, like 2019 and 2020. So I went through my own, I went through like a really dark phase, which I want to label it like the dark night of the soul. I think that's what everyone in the spiritual world calls it. But basically, like, everything was triggering me. I was going through this point where it's like a really dark, deep, depressed, just everyone and anything brought out an insecurity of me. I don't know what it was. I don't know what was happening. And I'm the type of girl that I don't let things bother me. Like, that's growing up, I was the type of person, like, everyone's doing their own thing. I'm doing my own thing. Like, that's just how I lived, okay? So when it came down to it, I was actually, I don't know, every little thing was just, I was snapping at every little thing. And I just became angrier and angrier, and I lost a huge part of myself. And then lo and behold, pandemic hit. And I was like, shit. While pandemic hit, I was going through this point where I was moving. Found my own apartment. I was in the midst of moving. We had to transition from working in office to working at home, and that was a transition in itself. And then you're isolated from everything, and then every restaurant, stores, everything shut down by like 7, 8 o'clock. And my ass never learned how to properly cook. I can throw down rice though. I know how to make rice. This is so embarrassing. I should be ashamed to say this, but whatever. So during that time, I remember I was going through like this really like hard, I was in between like this really like hard, there was a lot that was happening basically. So it was a really, really dark time, right? And then while I was doing this, I was in this hustle and bustle mode. My mind wasn't even in like a right state of mind, and I forgot to eat. Like, I was moving. By the time I got home from work, I was literally, for 2 months, I was on a yogurt and kombucha diet, and it's disgusting. It was just terrible. I would not recommend that for anybody. And on top of all of this, I started going to the gym extra, extra heavy, okay? Because in my head, I had to reach a goal for whatever reason. I don't even know where the fuck I'm going or where I was going. I had to reach a goal, and so I was like extra, extra hard on myself. So I'm not eating properly, and then on top of that, I'm working out like double of what I needed to, because I'm 4'11". I'm a tiny, tiny girl, okay? You don't need that much to do that much and exhaust yourself. So I went back to what that doctor told me back in 2017, where he's like, slow your roll. Girl, just slow your roll, okay? So, past 2 months, what I have been doing, okay, I cut off everything. I cut off everyone. It was just me and my reflection, okay? So what that did was like really deep dive in and get into who I wanted to be, how I was treating myself, how I was treating my body, how I was treating my health, my mind, everything. And this past year, I was really harsh on myself. I would do juice cleanses. I would like stay away from so many like different types of food, processed foods. And these past 2 months, all I've been doing is eating. And I'm aware that because I have an addictive type of personality, so that's why I like steer clear from a lot of things, because I know better for myself. So what happened was I was trying to eat and then making sure I didn't feel guilty about eating. And that's all I really wanted. And all I really wanted from these past 2 months was to make sure that I was actually able to just breathe and be who I wanted to be, how I wanted to be, without all the extra noise and without people telling me how I should be, or without showing up to certain photo shoots and like looking a certain way. And I was just like, I'm done with all of that, okay? But I'm still in the mindset of making sure I take care of my body, right? Like, I'll still take a walk around like 2-3 blocks. Occasionally I'll hit the gym right across my apartment and be like, one, and then I'll call it a day. But overall, you know, you have so much time on your hands, and we're so hyper exposed to like the social media realm, reality TV. We're in a Kardashian reality type world, and everybody's all about looking like perfect, looking fit, looking model-esque, looking thin, looking curvy, whatever. I don't know, whatever is the ideal beauty for everyone right now. And so I convinced myself for some reason, in order to make it in this like world, creative world, I had to reach the Eurocentric standard of beauty. And that's where I really fucked up, because those girls are like a size zero, double zero, and I convinced myself maybe, and I do not like being a zero. I don't like being skinny. I don't, I just don't like it on me, because I grew up always being my mother's daughter, we're built a little bit on the bigger end, and we're tiny, so we're just kind of like little penguins, and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm okay with looking like a little penguin every now and then. So I don't like being skinny, and I don't know why I thought I had to reach this goal, and then when I reached the goal, I was so unhappy with myself. I was like, okay, yeah, you're toned, you're thin, you're cute, whatever, but do you feel good? Are you happy? Do you you know? And so I had to really sit there and just be like, all right, you know what? Let me just, and I was doing things that were very destructive. Like I told you, my eating habits were bad. I was like doing double, triple workouts. I even did like cool sculpting at one point, and just extra shit. And it was like, I mean, I'll never go under the knife because I'm scared. Like I'm a scaredy cat, but like, anything non-invasive, I'm like, yeah, I'll try it, and then I'm like, for what? For what? What is the real reason I'm doing all this extra shit for? I don't even care, to be honest. Um, but now I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna slow my roll. Just if I want to exercise and not be sedentary at home, I'm gonna go take a walk around like a mile around the block. A mile around the block. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna take a walk around the block, and if I have to walk a mile around this block, then I will do that. I have the mall right across from me, the mile down, so I'll walk to the mall sometimes. I'll walk at the mall with the old senior citizens and just be like, hello, like that's what I'll do for movement right now. But I just want everyone to like take it easy on themselves. I want everyone to just kind of like remind themselves like, hey, it's okay to look however you want to look. And honestly, it really is about your inner knowing and your inner being. Like if that's confident in itself, then you can walk in a room and just own it, because that's who you are. Like that's what you're all about. And I've always been that kid, growing up. I've always been, because I grew up with two brothers that were always doing their own thing, and my family always taught us like, love the person you are. Like I remember my parents, they taught us just like, own your shit. They were crazy. My family's dysfunctional as fuck, like every other family, but you know ultimately it was all about like, hey, like, you got it, it's okay, just live it. And so I don't know. I think a lot, our social media has affected us a lot. I think reality TV has affected and skewed our perspective on certain things. And I just feel like we need to keep it real as possible. And I'm yearning for it. I've been yearning for it for a really long time. And this space and time that we live in, it's all about like an ego boost and how we're gonna like show ourselves and show out. And it's like, it's not what this is really all about. And but it's hard, because like in order to make it, that's what people like feed into a lot of the times. And it's like, all right, you give them a little bit of that, and then you see it works, because like you're getting the results in that aspect, but you're destroying yourself. I want you guys to know, like, a lot of times on social media, and I'm guilty of this as well, where we are very we curate certain things, right? Like we want to be creative, but at the same time it's like a lot of thought process goes into what we're posting and what we're like. It's not just like, hey, out of the blue, you know, post and go. And I used to be a lot like that, but it's changed a lot as like, you know, the business aspect of things come into play. So what you're seeing is literally like 10 seconds of highlights of people's lives. You don't know what's going on behind doors. You don't know what the reality is. This is in every situation, in every scenario. You don't know how many like selfies it took to get that one great selfie. You know what I'm saying? So just try not to be so hard on yourselves if you guys are like witnessing this whole social media realm and this like reality TV realm. And I mean, I've become a victim to it, and then I've played a role in it as well, you know? And so I just wanted to remind everyone like, yo, like it's really not that serious. And the best thing that I've been understanding from all of this is like to be able to just be is like the most freeing feeling in the entire world. And you don't have to show up as somebody else. You don't have to try to put on a face for anybody else. You don't have to like do anything extra of who you are not. If the, you Yeah, that makes sense. No, it makes sense. You don't have to show up as someone that you're not, you know? And so just go, be free, do your thing, and don't get caught up in this whole world. Don't, even me, like, don't even look at me and be like, oh, I want to be like this, I want to be like that. Like, if I ever get to that point where you're like, you know, I mean, my house is a mess. So you don't want to be like me. A tornado hit my room, and that's just how I am, okay? So, but what I'm saying is, like, be you, be free, be comfortable. Be comfortable in who you are. And I know it sounds cliche, but it really is owning who you are. You know, it's just, it really is all about that. And so hopefully you guys can get this message, and hopefully I did okay on my first YouTube after like so many years. I've made a few YouTube videos here and there, but never like really, you know. And as bold as I am, I'm really camera shy, so I'm just, okay? Alright. If you liked my channel, don't forget to like, subscribe. I don't know how it fucking goes. But yeah, I'm in the midst of moving right now, so I am boxing things up. That's why my house is a mess. I have 3 boxes set so far. I still have all these shoes to do. I don't know why the hat is on the floor. Yeah, it's a mess. It's a mess. But I'm excited to move because I think I'm gonna go back, chill with my parents for the summertime, and see where that goes. I don't really know, but I'm just gonna go ahead and have myself a little donut. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I don't know why I'm whispering. I live alone. For God's sake, what is going on? Okay, bye.